Hey Cowgirls, here's why I think every cowgirl should consider being a rodeo queen. Here's 3 things I want to mention. What is a rodeo queen? What do they get to do? Who can be one? And why should they be one? So those 3 things we're going to answer today in this video. I am a horse trainer slash rodeo coach out of North Texas. I work with these girls for roping events and then also in rodeo queen horsemanship. And I have been around this now for a few years, and here's some thoughts and why I think every cowgirl should consider being a rodeo queen. What is a rodeo queen? Well, rodeo queens are somebody that is more than just a crown and that looks beautiful at the rodeos. They are representatives of rodeo committees and riding clubs. They are typically asked to ride in the grand entries and be kind of part of the promo for the rodeo, and so they have a very important role, more than just, like I said, a smile and a pretty face. They also can be used for marketing and promotion. So a good rodeo committee will really utilize their rodeo queens in doing Facebook posts or maybe making local trips to schools and inviting people to the rodeos. And then once they're there, they'll also help hand out flyers, maybe sell tickets, and they're just a really good asset that can be used for the rodeos. They're also kind of seen as host of the rodeos, and what I mean by that is as they go around, people may ask them questions, people may have a need of trying to find a place, and rodeo queens are great because they stand out, and because of that it makes them more approachable and easy to find. So as they work at a rodeo, they're also seen as the host to help keep it running smoothly and be a good representation for that rodeo committee. What they get to do. Everything under the sun. Rodeo queens can really, take what they want to make of it. Each committee and organization has different requirements, what they may ask their rodeo queens to do. And so it's important whenever you sign up for that committee organization that you know what the requirements are going to be beforehand. It could be going to parades, entering so many grand entries. They may ask you to make so many posts, a month for their Facebook page, and so on. And so it's really an opportunity though to get exposure, to see different things, and it's what you make of it. And so sometimes you may be asked to carry a flag at a rodeo. You might have to lead the grand entry. If singing is your talent, you might be asked to sing the national anthem. So it just doesn't matter on what you're interested, like what can you bring to the table that makes you special as a rodeo queen. Another thing is that during the rodeo, they may assist with some of the activities going on. A lot of my kiddos that I coach, they really enjoy helping with the calf scramble, getting the kids in and out of the arena, back to their parents. The other thing that's really fun is to ride the barrel truck when they go and put the barrels out. They can be helpful. They'll wave to the crowd. Sometimes they throw things out in the crowd. Again, each rodeo committee is different, and what they may have them do will be a little bit different. And the other thing is it could be a product sponsor. So at times, like I know for the state and the Miss USA rodeo, they will be asked to market different makeup lines or anything under the sun, but they may be asked to kind of create an ad for that. And so again, it's just another opportunity to try something different and expand their capabilities. So who can be one? Well, anyone willing to put the effort in. And then also preferably under the age of 24. A lot of the rodeo queen contestants age out at that point. The other thing is that you've got to be willing to take this seriously. Like, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes of becoming a rodeo queen. And so something that you've got to be able to have is some style. One of the things that does matter how you dress. And you can take what you have and you can make a lot of DIY if you like. And then the other thing is just a lot of people do secondhand shopping for rodeo queen stuff. Another thing that you can do is your horsemanship is really important. So whenever you are going to be a rodeo queen, a lot of times, the majority of the times, the contest asks you to ride and show them how well you can ride. And depending on your age group and what the contest requires, the patterns could be a little bit different. And we'll make another video talking about horsemanship patterns for queen contest and look at some of the ones that I've worked with personally, and then some other competitions that I know are well known. And then knowledge. Oh my goodness. So at rodeo queen pageants, they're going to ask you a lot of questions because they want to make sure you're knowledgeable. Remember, you're the host of the rodeo and you're going to stick out, and people may want to, you know, they might seek you out to find out, find out things they might not know. They might not understand, what is team roping, and, what is that rope around that calf's neck whenever they leave the chute, and, and certain things, and, why can't the saddle bronc rider have both hands, holding on, and so it's your job to be able to know why and to be able to explain that to people. And that leads me into public speaking. That is one thing about being a rodeo queen, is, developing that ability to talk to people, and that's really important too. And so when you are considering being a rodeo queen, know that there's going to be those big parts. You gotta have style, you gotta have horsemanship, you gotta be able to ride, you gotta have knowledge, so you gotta study about the rodeo, about your horse, about what's going on in that community, and then you gotta be able to speak to people. And if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, then I would strongly suggest that you look into this. And then I also would just challenge you just to try one. If you're not quite sure, still go for it, because even if you don't get the crown, you're gonna get an opportunity to practice these skills, and these are just good life skills. That's one thing that I have really enjoyed watching these girls go through these queening contests, is that even though they may not get the outcome of the crown, there's so much growth that happens when you're part of these things, because a lot of the times we don't challenge ourselves in the way that these rodeo queen contests ask us to step up and challenge ourselves. And it's just something that, it's just life skills that's going to benefit just down the road, interviewing, answering questions, talking to people, being polite and being poised. That's just something that we don't get to practice that every day, right? And I just know that as you get in this community, it's super supportive. There's lots of people willing to help, and lots of people willing to kind of give you guidance and direction. And that's another thing that I found that I really enjoy. And then also, once you kind of make it into what they call the sash sisters, meaning you become a rodeo queen or princess, is that there really is a lot of camaraderie behind. And if you're ever at an event or someplace and you need help with something, a majority of the time, all you have to do is ask, and somebody's going to come to your rescue or do the best they can to help you. And that is just something that has really touched me since I've been around these people and in this, in this world. And I really enjoy seeing that. And it's sad because a lot of the kids and the potential rodeo queens that are out there, they don't see the value in this, or they're not willing to take the time. And really, if you're already going to rodeo and ride your horse, why not go ahead and get that extra title, get that extra step up, because that's just something that you're going to be there barrel racing or breakaway roping, or you might be on a drill team, but you can do both. You can be a rodeo queen and you can break away. You can be a rodeo queen and you can run barrels, right? And so take that opportunity to take up a little bit extra responsibility and growth, and and go for that. A lot of times, and not that it's for the prizes, but there are some perks. They can win saddles and belt buckles. Scholarships are always an option. Again, each committee is different, so I strongly encourage you just to kind of look around and see what they have to offer and what the perks of that may be. And if it's your very first one, you might want to try to find one that's not too large or doesn't have a whole lot of requirements off the bat, so then that way you're able to kind of be in a slower pace, and it's going to not be so intimidating. And then as you get more comfortable and more used to the rodeo queen culture, you'll be more knowledgeable and more confident, and you'll be more likely to succeed. But again, I am not one to tell you I'd love to see you go for the stars. If you find one and you really have your heart set on it, go for it, but make sure you get the coaching and look around and see who can support you. And that's one thing that I'm hoping to create, is an online community to kind of, if you're thinking about it, it could be a possibility. That's what I want to offer, is just a little bit more education on it. So if you do decide to jump in, you're going to be more successful, and you'll have a better idea of what you're getting into before you take on this world. Because it can be a lot when you're first getting started. But once you start getting the groove of it and you understand, how it all works, it's a lot easier just to kind of keep rolling and going with what you need to do and staying on top of things. So again, I really would love to see a lot more cowgirls consider being rodeo queens, because it is something that can be very helpful for your future, and you're only going to develop skills that's going to help make you a better person and benefit you in the long run. So I hope you consider this. We'd love to see you join the community, and reach out if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you.